You are robbing people of the experience of getting to authentically know who you are, not the fake version of you or what you present. It has to be everything. When you're not living in your truth and you're not authentically you, you're fake. Is exactly what it is. When you're not being who you are, you can't even fully you wouldn't even make the same choices that you make when you're not being the full version of yourself. It's certain things you wouldn't even allow, certain things you wouldn't even entertain or do, but you're doing it because you're not living in your truth. You're not being who you are. You can't be authentic completely with other people, whether your intentions may be good, but you cannot be fully invested in anything and anyone if you're not fully invested in yourself first. Be invested in you, and everything else will align that's supposed to be there. And if it is not, you will not attract those situations. And if they come, you'll know exactly what they are, and you'll know how to handle them. But you'll entertain things that just feel good for the moment, that may appease certain parts of you that you're not even being fully honest about within yourself. Be honest with yourself. Own who you are, and the decisions that you make in the present will create the future that you desire. How can you create the future that you desire when you're making choices and decisions based out of a false sense of who you are? Stop with the lies. It's the lies that you keep, the lies we keep within us that we don't purge out and we don't examine, that create the universe around us that we feel doesn't belong to us. You're right. The energy that you feel, everything that is around, the people, the situations, yeah, it feels that way because of what you're creating within you based out of a lie. It started from a lie. You can't expect things to go any different if it started off with a lie. Start today. Start right now with the truth. Just one thing. Think about one thing that you know that you haven't dealt with, that you have not been honest completely with yourself about. Get rid of the lie. Step into the light. Be the light that you're called to be. Light is truth. It's a fact. It's no emotions involved with facts. It is what it is. Be yourself.
To thy own self be true. Welcome, family, once again to another wonderful, entertaining, educated edition of We All Be, News-Free Dixie for the 21st century. I'm your host for this empowerment segment, Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2, the Artivist. And that was a very powerful message, very timely, and especially for a season as we are facing right now. They definitely be heard. They say words create worlds, and this woman is a true phenomenon. She is a game changer to me, a person that really embodies to be a brother or sister's keeper. She really is about community, invested in people, and seeing things that people may not see in that moment, but may see it in another season. So I want y'all to support this sister. She's known as the Seer, Authentically Jen. I'm gonna have to put up her website, and we're gonna post it throughout the show. But I think y'all should definitely subscribe because it's tough right now for a lot of us out here, especially those who are light workers. And life can be very heavy on light workers, but this too shall pass. So let me make sure I post her. Yeah, y'all want to subscribe to that Authentically Jen. I want to see it should be like 8,000 subscribers by the end of the week, because we should encourage very positive messages and amplify them. But she's just getting started, and I know that the best is yet to come, no doubt. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to run my mouth too much longer. I'm going to let people know. Spread the good news, everybody. Also, I'm going to post. Let me see. Make sure we're going to pin her. No, that's not her website, so you can subscribe in the chat box in the chat room. We also got it in the description box here. Just try to do all I can. Try to do more good than harm as I pass through this thing called life. Let me see. No, okay. I guess I'm about to pin that, but without further ado, boys and girls, ladies and gents, I bring to you the one and only, truly beyond category, Sister Authentically Jen. How you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. That was an amazing intro. Like, I can't stop smiling.
That's cool. Well, you're an amazing person. No doubt about that. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, actually. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yours. I mean, we did a little like your intro to you, but tell us about you. A little about your story.
Okay, well, my name is Jennifer Ford. I'm a Memphian. I've been in Memphis all my life, born and raised. I am the daughter of John Ford, who was a prominent political figure in our state. So I do come from a political dynasty. Never really considered going down that path, and I'm not discounting that. All things can lead down roads sometimes you never expect or anticipate. But I think for me, because I always wanted to kind of get away from the media because of the things that I personally had observed, I think with my dad, it kind of like put me in this box or this shell. Like I would say, I was very introverted most of my life. So having a channel like this in particular is very empowering and freeing for me. Even still, like with each message, those messages literally come from my spirit and my being, because I lived through a lot of that. And I finally found my voice to be able to articulate the very things that I realized weren't just for me. It's for so many other people. And like you stated before, the time that we're in right now, I think everything aligned perfectly for me to, release this. This just started 3 months ago. But I've been a writer my whole life because that's where my voice was, being an introvert. I just really didn't feel like I connected to a lot of people to be able to say my thoughts or how I felt. I didn't really feel like I was heard. So I would just write a lot, start with my diaries and just journaling. And then through school, English was like one of my favorite subjects. And I had this teacher in particular in 10th grade that I'll never forget, Miss Gregory. She encouraged me. I did like my first official poem. And she just encouraged me to continue with that because it was really deep. But she was like, "You're really, really good." And then later on, I think in like the 12th grade, I took like creative writing. And that was interesting because it's like I'm very private. So I like had to get out of my box and like share my work. And like we critiqued each other. And I was like, oh. That was so horrible for me at the time, but it was actually amazing. It kind of like, again, was another thing that kind of opened me up. And I remember I had submitted one of my poems I did in that class back in 2005 to like poetry.com. It was like a thing back in the day where like, if your poem was selected, you win, and, they have like this thing for you. I didn't go, but I did win. My poem did win for 2005. And it was called Mirror Mirror. So I got to dig that up too. And I got to post that one day, like just for memory's sake. But not to be long-winded on that piece. It's just all of those things that happened were transitional for me, like throughout my life, like, being in my shell, being around like this sense of prominence, but not really being able to find my voice or identify. So I went through a lot of difficult periods in my life with finding myself. And then, when I connected to Fahara, who is my business partner, with IBD Press and so many other things we work on, he actually edits my videos. So like, shout out to him. He's in LA right now. Fahara Farmer, he's amazing. He actually, Creator really used him to be the voice of reason, to encourage me, because not too long ago, just this year, I was still in a rut. I lost my job. I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids, so I can relate to people in, different scenarios. So I lost my job and I really didn't know what to do, but I knew I just couldn't go back to that same routine. I felt like it had been long overdue for me to use my voice. I constantly kept having people come to me talking about my voice, like, you need to do something with that. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I've been in therapy for like almost 3 years. So I've been kind of going through these exercises, applying it here and there, but it's not until I started, like, because I would use my phone a lot to record memos and notes, being a writer and writing songs and just different things. I was having like a self-talk session, literally. So it's ironic, the video that you chose to play, I literally was sitting in the bathroom, TMI, and I was recording, myself just talking, and everything that was coming. And that's how I get a lot of, my content, is divinely inspired. I was literally just saying all of what I said in that video. Nothing was changed. Everything was literally said on a voice note. And then, I heard within myself, this needs to be on YouTube. This is going to be the beginning of your channel. I'd already had a division about Authentically Jen, but I didn't know what I was going to do with that. I saw like Authentically Jen, and then I have my tagline, original is the only way to be where you authentically. When I got that, I was like, that's brilliant. Like, to me, because I'm like, that sounds like that could really be something. But even with this first video, I didn't say that tagline at first because I didn't have it at that time. It was just what I was doing with my self-talk session. But it was still impactful because I'm like, if I could say something like this, talking to myself to encourage myself out of a rut, right, and this is raw and unfiltered, and it sounds like this, I need to just keep doing this. So to anybody out there, that may be in whatever situation you're in, be encouraged. You just never know what you can do with something. Just, that small seed can be so much. Like, that was the momentum that I needed. Once I finally put myself out there, I was able to flow, and like, messages just came to me. Like, I've got a couple that aren't released right now. I already have ready to go, because that's how it just is flowing. It's like I was able to finally channel whatever that energy was in me that I had a hard time, like, throughout my entire life, connecting to. And then once I connected and I didn't let fear govern, my decisions anymore. And I just was like, you know what? I believe in myself, like, it just took off from there. So from there, I've been able to have the additional messages that's on the channel, and literally every one of them I can go back to and kind of almost imagine the place that I was in, So I'm really big on mental health awareness. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge advocate for that. And I even wore my shirt ADHD because I was diagnosed later on in life. I didn't know that I had ADHD. So kind of like going through certain situations in school, feeling different already, you know what I'm saying? And not really being able to figure out like, what is this? Why do I learn different? I didn't really have an outlet with that. So finding that out really also helped me to be encouraged and more inspired, because those things, when you tap into it from a positive standpoint, can be the catalyst for you to just be a change agent and work for you for good things. And it doesn't have to be something to hold you back. But for a while, I had a low self-perception because of a lot of those things. So, but this channel is just the beginning. Like I mentioned, I am a writer. I do plan on having my first book come out, hopefully in 2022. But this channel is helping me to get into that space where, I'm not limiting myself anymore. So I have other projects that I've been working on outside of the channel. There's a movie that I'll be featured in. I have a small role in it. It's my first acting role.
Okay.
Ruined Twice Blind. It'll be released this fall, so I can't wait to share more information about that. My character's name is Selena, and I'm playing Tyler Rain's girlfriend, who's like the main character in the movie. But it's kind of like this exciting revenge kind of short. It's going to be awesome. And I also am a voiceover artist. So I do have some projects that I'm working on using my voice in that aspect as well.
That's very impressive. I think you do have a future in politics, because I mean, you could carry. You really just fill us in. And speaking of politics, you're very modest. Your family is like a political dynasty. It's like the Jack Kennedys of Tennessee,
right.
The Ford family. I mean, a very prominent. Harold Ford Sr., like you said, your daddy John Ford, also Harold Ford Jr. was your cousin as well. So was it a pressure living up to those like expectations? Do you feel like you had to live up to certain type of expectations growing up, or be put in a certain box?
Well, people will always do that, I think, no matter like who you're related to or what your background is. I mean, especially if you're a gifted person. But it's just like, I didn't really have a lot of influences around me, ironically, like people would probably assume, to kind of fuel and feed those inquisitive parts of myself that, I'm just now kind of tapping into a lot. But yeah, I did have those pressures. I think I put more pressure on myself because of those things. That's why I wanted to know more, because I didn't know everything about, my family dynamic and history. Actually, there is going to be a project that I'm going to work on. I can't really talk much about it right now. I haven't tapped into it as much just yet. But I did start my own personal research, because we have the phenomenal library, Benjamin Hook's library on the 4th floor, where there's like a lot of great information about different families, that are prominent. Author Webb has a collection. So I was fascinated, honestly. It's like my spirit led me down this path, like probably 5 years ago. I didn't understand it then, but it's like funny now, like how so much is happening now centered around a lot of my research. And it wasn't just really with my family, but I just wanted to know more, because like my grandfather in particular, who's a phenomenal patriarch of, a lot of the people that you just named, who's such an innovator. I never got a chance to personally know, because he died the year before I was born in 86. So I ended up getting this book. I checked it out. It's called Notable Black Memphians. And he was featured in that book along with my cousin Harold Jr. and his father, Harold Ford Sr. So to have that, just that piece of history and be so interconnected to it, I feel I have a great responsibility. So I think I didn't know what to do with a lot of that pressure, because I did have people that would have conversations with me, throughout my life. Like if I was working on a job somewhere, and after talking to me, they're like, "You're so intelligent, you're so this, like, why aren't you doing this?" Or, and that just kind of made me feel like, oh, like, okay. But I mean, I think meeting you and different people, along this journey now that I've connected to, the timing is so perfect. And that's why I say I can't say what I won't do. I think right now I'm building and I'm creating, this new reality that I was unfamiliar with, because I'm just now walking into it. But I already had all that stuff in me, because of course it's in my blood. But it's me doing something new, though, because I feel like even if I was to go into politics or something in that aspect, I'm an artist, and I feel like I'm an artist and a creative first. So I would have a definite, like, different spin on, the whole family legacy. So I feel like that's what I'm building right now, legacy. And I am taking it into account, my roots. which I think Fahara also helped me with that a lot, because at first I really wasn't owning it a lot. I didn't announce myself to people or say, I'm a forward. But once I fully embraced it and I realized, this is who you are, no matter what your circumstances were before, how you grew up, you've got to own all of who you are in order to fully walk in, your purpose. And, I think that was the hardest part for me, just shedding a lot of those layers and things that, were, I experienced that were hard and hurtful. But now that I'm in this space, it's like, I'm able to like have, an advantage to help so many different people and give people a voice. Even starting off with this channel, people you would never think or imagine that, seem to have it all together, that really are struggling, and I've had people reach out to me, and I think it's just setting the tone for what's to come.
I definitely said a lot right there. You sure you was ever shy though? You said you shy.
I'm telling you, when I'm having these conversations, because again, this is still new to me, I'm like, am I talking too long, y'all? You can stop me at any point and say, I'm done speaking.
No, you're not talking. What you're saying is like food for the soul. I mean, you have to say very thoughtful things, substantive things, and I don't get in the way of that, because we got to learn how to amplify very important messages and things, and help support people like you. And you've been very supportive ever since I met you or encountered you. I'm learning more about the Memphis creative scene. You put me on to a lot of places. I don't see where you get all the energy from. But what is it like to be a supporter of the Memphis creative scene? And what's the pros and cons as far as what you encountered in trying to be supportive?
That's a great question. So to back up a little bit, and this is all going to come together. I hope, that I word it well, but I've always had this ability, this gift to love and show support. It's just that through my earlier part of my journey, it was taken advantage of. A lot of that came from me not knowing my worth or looking at what how other people, received me and treated me, and internalizing those things. But since I've learned to undo a lot of that stuff, I was able to get a vision for like Seer Spotlight on Facebook. So I was already sharing a lot of content on my personal Facebook page, but it just got crowded. And it's like, the more I wanted to start kind of, showcasing more of who I am as an individual, just wasn't able to really do that. And there's just too much clutter. But, the hardest part was just launching. Just like with Authentically Jen, I just had to launch, and I almost psyched myself out about it. But once I launched, I already had content, obviously, because I already had people that I was following and I just believed in. And just as excited as you may get seeing information, it's a lot that I don't know. Right. Honestly, I find out the more I share and I connect. And it's like growing into something even bigger than I anticipated. And it's starting to give me more ideas, honestly, about more I can do, with Seer Spotlight. But I get the energy from my passion, because it's already been in me. It's a lot of people that I don't get a chance to like support, whether it be through me purchasing something or physically going somewhere, because there's so many different people. But I was just like, to bring him up again. And this is somebody you got to watch for Fahara. Watch for him. We're like two peas in a pod. He is literally like he's my manager, but he's like my mentor. I remember the first conversation when I first heard him speaking on a call that I was on, and he was talking about the power of the share button and like how impactful it is just to share content, just to share other people's stuff, show support. It doesn't cost you anything. I ran with it. It felt like the guru was speaking to me. Like I was like, share people's content. So it's like, people obviously appreciate that. It's pros and cons with that, going to, your point. Like, people can appreciate it, but then it's like, what I do is honestly a service that people would pay for. like it's getting to that point. And so people would inbox you to do certain things, or, if they feel they can kind of, take advantage of the opportunity. You might have stuff like that happen. You just got to put your business first, which I'm learning more. I mean, you can't be too nice with stuff, like, because people use that to their advantage.
Yeah.
So you have stuff like that may happen, or people just trying to figure you out, because not a lot of people are out here doing, what I'm doing, and have the heart that I do. But I genuinely love it. I love to see people win. And my thing is, I always kind of felt like the underdog, I always felt like, people aren't going to really see me coming. So if I see someone that's not getting recognition, or that's super dope, but they're not, on this platform that you see certain people all the time, like, I'm going to give you a platform. I'm going to give you a platform where it's not just me thinking about myself. It's not even about me, honestly. It's about, I want to support first and foremost. I want other people to connect. Just like you said, you didn't know about certain things. Well, a lot of these other creators, it's people that they don't get a chance to cross paths with. And, Facebook or these platforms have so much information. You don't always see everybody's stuff.
Right.
So it's more of an intimate way to connect and see what's going on, make those connections, support, and, really practicing group economics, which I'm really big on that. And just as a Black people, like, coming together, it's not all about if you Black, but I'm very passionate about us, So I just think that, especially in Memphis, it's so important to realize everybody can be successful. Even if you're doing the same thing somebody else is doing, you can show support, and it doesn't take away from you and what you have going on. Actually, for me, it empowers me to be able to do it, and it doesn't take away from me. It can be time consuming, because I literally have to be consistent, but I choose to, because I believe in what I'm doing so much. But I think that I'm going to start writing more pieces. I had one piece that I wrote for Chris, who's a chef. He's phenomenal. And he blessed me with some of his food one day, just, showing love, because I show love, and I wasn't expecting that. And I wrote a review for him, and he was so impressed by it. But I think that's another thing I can do with this platform. It's a way I can showcase my gift, but then also share more love, within this community that I'm building. So it is a sense of community. And I feel like it's a precursor to other things that's to come that I plan to do as well.
That's excellent. Yeah, you are definitely on the scene, looking clean and doing what you do. It's very impressive. Shout out to your business partner, your guru, your manager, Fahara. He's an interesting brother, good cat. Met him a couple of times at some of Brother Cam Mackenzie's events. And
Right.
It's always good to help light workers connect with other light workers to make the light even brighter. So, you definitely doing your thing. And, I'm be honest with you, what caught my attention was how you was looking, your curves and stuff, and pretty smile. But I stayed for the conversation.
Okay.
More to meet the eye, I guess. There's a lot to you.
Right.
And also, I think it's very interesting. Today is like the 25th anniversary of the death of Tupac Amaru Shakur, one of my favorite creatives and artists. And at the paraphrase way he said, I may not change the world, but I may spark the mind that does. Right. And I think it's very important to always be to thy own self, be true, as they say, because I don't think you could make a unique contribution if you're not true to who you are. And people always say, who's the best? Like, how they look at sports. They say, is Michael Jordan the greatest? Is LeBron better? Everybody can be great.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody can be great in their own way. You can shine in your own way. And to me, I think people need to be more comfortable with being with themselves, understanding themselves. I don't think a lot of us really understand who we are, because if we did, we wouldn't be questioning ourselves all the time. We wouldn't be so hard on ourselves all the time. We wouldn't be so unforgiving towards ourselves. Because I don't see how you could forgive other people you can't forgive yourself.
I agree. And Tupac is definitely one of my favorites of all time. I love the way his brain just processed, information and just how
Right.
he was able to put his art out there.
Yeah,
And
Gemini like you.
yeah. But I mean, I love diversity,
Mhm.
and it's funny you brought him up too, because it's like I'm also an artist, like a poet, and I'm about to start, doing some music and everything as well, working on some stuff. But the thing is, I was kind of apprehensive because it's like there's sides of me that y'all are gonna start seeing. I'm kind of giving you like peekaboo moments.
Uh-huh.
Just so you can take it in. But it's like I had to get to the point within myself, also with creating the channel that highlights this, is being authentically Jen, literally being myself. And when you get free from what other people are going to say, because it's going to happen,
Yeah.
and you just live in your freedom, no matter what that looks like for you, that's everything. And it's like the more I've been doing that, it's like it doesn't matter. I have to be myself. I only got one life to live. I
Mhm.
don't know how much time I have here to do what I'm doing.
Right.
So, I have to do everything, like whatever is in me, I want to be able to get it all out there until I'm empty. So it's like I lived long enough, 34 years, just letting that stuff sit dormant. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of content that's going to be coming, and people are probably going to be like, whoa, what's all this? Hey, 34 years. You know what I'm saying? But I love how, he could be one way with his music, and then the next, a different way, where it's like, okay, it never bothered me because I understood it. Because it's like I have those aspects. And I feel like you know, everybody should be able to have that moment, that defining moment where they're able to tap into that within themselves, because I'm telling you, nothing in this world feels like that when you're able to be free. And even with the recent shoot, like this picture, like I had 2 different photo shoots this day, and I'm telling you, I'm not one to be in front of a camera, not typically, like, but when I was able to tap into that right there, I was just like, yeah, see, you're coming, y'all got to get ready.
All right.
Yeah, but this is gonna be one of the pictures that I submit for this magazine. I'm gonna be featured as one of the artists to watch.
Hey,
That's gonna be
congratulations
coming
on that.
soon.
Yeah,
Thank
very much
you.
so. I'm looking forward to watching more of you and hearing from you as well, because do you consider yourself a motivational speaker by any chance? Or
I've heard that. I mean, I think that my YouTube channel is giving me more of the confidence to be in front of people. Because again, like outside of being an introvert, I used to really struggle very bad with social anxiety and getting up in front of people and stuff. But I think the more I've been owning who I am, that kind of is going away more and more. So that's why I think you're able to tap into that energy with me. But
Mhm.
I do see myself speaking in front of people, encouraging them, especially when it comes to my life story,
Oh yeah.
for sure. But the things that I've learned along the way, that I'm able to, articulate, definitely needs to be heard on a platform, for everyone. I don't really have a set group of people that I feel that I could just speak to. But, definitely I have a passion for single mothers, of course, being one. But outside of that, I have a passion for single fathers. Anybody that's a parent that's, making it through, this time that we're in right now is very challenging for everybody. So
Yeah, I just 2021 is worse than 2020 for me. I just it's worse. I mean, 2020 is like, oh, I didn't know. And then it's coming in 2021, but you just like, wow. You like, my social media timeline is so depressing right now. Like, it's got
right.
death all up and down. I never
I
saw this
know.
last year, but it's like it's death everywhere. And then like I've been losing a lot of people, and just going through what I go through. People, you feel like, like the Memphis creative scene, you feel like everybody's isolated from each other, or everybody's very cliquish. It's just people
Yeah.
just don't know. I mean, because people like, well, they don't support me over here, I don't support them, but nobody knows what anybody's doing. And to be honest with you, Black people in Memphis and around the country, I treat like children. we're not allowed to be responsible and accountable to ourselves. We're in a state of arrested development when it comes to dealing with each other. And that's how the powers that be seem like they want it like that. And I just think it's unfortunate because Memphis is an amazing place. Cause I can walk outside and everybody got talent.
Right.
I can do something, but because you don't believe in yourself and know who you are, you won't accept that challenge or take that risk and give yourself a chance.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I plan to be one of the people to change that. And I'm just taking, one step at a time. And honestly, I don't know everything, right in front of me right now. It's just given to me, the more I step into it and I walk into it by faith. But I see exactly what you're talking about, more than I thought that I would. I mean, I knew obviously we have a lot of gifted people here, but the thing is, the more I've been sharing the content, it's like, oh my gosh, it blows my mind. Like I get super excited. I'm like, I've never been one for clicks, first of all. That's not my thing. I've always been an individual and never really fit in anyway. But I feel like this is why I really believe that I'm supposed to be a change agent within the culture, within this city. I believe it spans beyond Memphis. This is just my stepping grounds right now. But if I have the opportunity, in each opportunity rather that I have, I'm going to give it my all to make sure that everyone that is connected to me feels the support, feels the love, and knows that they're valuable. It's not me having a preference toward this person or that person. You know what I mean? I believe we all are great. I want us all to tap into our greatness, and push beyond our limitations, because that's what I've been having to do. And I can speak to that because I know what that is. So none of us need to feel limited, no matter what the powers that be, put out there. If we are able to tap into what we can do and come together collectively without all the extra stuff that literally doesn't even matter, we would be able to take over. We would take over. Simple as that, because it's too many people here that have the ability to do so many different things, that look like us, so many people. But a lot of people rather, not everybody. A lot of people want to kind of do their own thing. Yeah. But there's power when we come together. That's why I said group economics. This group on Facebook is just the beginning of that. I'm going to be doing a lot more as it comes out. But I really want to see that change. And it's like people like you and Cam, I feel you guys don't get the recognition, or you're not honored like you should be. And people don't take the time to like get to know or pick your brain. Right. All the gems that's there, you know what I mean? It's like we're all over the place. That's why I love, being able to share certain content in particular, because it's like, you guys need to know what's here. Everything you need is like right here, within this city. And we just gotta like love on each other and show support, because, we can change the game. But I'm definitely doing it on my end.
That's cool. You definitely doing it. You are shining, because I noticed you, and I say, well, and I see you everywhere now. But you've been definitely putting people on, and it's like I believe the world is made of two types of people: the givers and the takers. And it ain't about being reciprocal. A lot of times, people just take and don't replenish. They just take the well till the well runs dry. And like right now, for me, it's a marathon. It's a struggle marathon to keep it pushing. But Memphis, you said that you feel like your reach is going to be beyond Memphis. What people don't understand about Memphis is a very unique place. It's an incubator for greatness. Like, right. Modern America was invented in Memphis. I always tell people, I said, y'all can talk about New York and Chicago and LA, but there are more songs about Memphis than any other American city. Because Memphis is very mythological in terms of the culture. It's like you look at, Holiday Inn was created in Memphis. The supermarket was created in Memphis, Piggly Wiggly. Tennessee Williams, arguably the greatest American playwright, did his first play in Memphis back in 1931. You think about, for a long time, the world's largest cargo airport was in Memphis. Now it's number 2 behind Hong Kong. But it's a distribution hub. And there's so many things. Even the father of modern barbecue is from here, Henry Perry, a black guy. Charlie Parker's dead. You know, great jazz genius from Memphis. Louis Armstrong, second white from Memphis. I go on and on about the greatness of Memphis, but Memphians don't know the greatness of Memphis. I go to places like LA or Baltimore, New York. I tell these cats I'm from Memphis. They say, man, there's an expectation if you're from Memphis to be great wherever you go. And I know people think there's an over-exaggeration, but Memphis is a place where if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. It's a struggle place by design. Memphis is here to break your spirit. It's a plantation mentality, but if you could survive that hazing, you could make your contribution. And I even look at the hip hop thing. I think it's weird that you look at Atlanta, and Atlanta rappers always gave Memphis rappers the prop. You know, you think about Ludacris or T.I., Little John, they always shout Memphis. They talk about Orange Mound. What's the Orange Mound? Them cats know where Crunk came from, but the Memphis scene was never unified in terms of the Atlanta cats. And that's why they was able to do what they was able to do. But I think Memphis has not even reached its because look at the scene now in hip hop. The top rappers, a lot of them from Memphis.
Right, yeah.
On the top 40, a lot of them cats from Memphis. And a lot of these cats could be my sons. That's how old I am. Well, so no point of saying I graduated from college, but it's interesting. Like, damn, I'm getting old. But I gotta ask you this though, in terms of what you're doing, it's like you're a serious person. You know how to have fun. You're a very serious person. I see how you just slip that in. You're a single mother. What is the problem? I mean, like you got a lot of are you single by choice? I'm just curious. I just want to know. Are you single by choice?
I didn't know I was going to talk about this. Well, I mean, I don't desire to say that way. I feel like, I believe in this stage that I'm in right now is very pivotal for me to be focused. Mm-hmm. Because I was in situations kind of off and on where it deterred from, me going inward and reflecting because I just wasn't in a good space. And I think in those situations before when, my kids came into fruition, I wasn't in the best space. Actually, a lot of my testimony started with me. I posted a picture not too long ago, memory. Mm-hmm. From Connecting Memphis, and I was interviewed, and I mentioned my daughter's name was Genesis, and it was just a line that was posted. My daughter's name is Genesis. She's my new beginning. She changed everything for me, which she did because I was super depressed, didn't want to be here. Like it helped to give me a sense of focus. But it's so challenging, and I think a lot of people don't really talk about this and be open and honest or candid because it's like motherhood or parenthood is so great. But I mean, it's challenging, especially if you're creative. And a lot of the stuff that I'm experiencing now is just like, wow, I really need the help and the resources. I don't want to be in the situation. Like I used to just be like, I got this. I'm gonna do this by myself. No, I don't want to. but you know what? The thing is, it's like, life is all about the choices you make. I had to take accountability for not making the best choices that resulted, not even just necessarily with, children, but I'm saying in relationships. Sometimes you stay in situations longer, you feel obligated because you have children or because of this or that. And I just had to realize this, I know this ain't gonna work for me. So, I mean, it's not no problem per se. It's just, this isn't going to work. It's unfortunate, because I'm in this situation now, but hey, it's a choice. You didn't have to choose that, but you did. But now that I'm in this space, obviously, they're my why. Genesis and Jaden are my why for sure. But, like I do want to be in a partnership. I don't want to be in just I'm not going to ever have a normal, regular relationship. I realize that too. And, it's got to be something where we connect like on every level, like with what I'm building. Because people sometimes, especially when you're entertainment or anything like that, they don't understand that life is not going to work. And I need somebody that's going to be like a motivational, type of person like I would be, and I'm not drained and my energy isn't drained because I'm giving more than I'm receiving, or you're not feeling intimidated or jealous or all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Because I don't put myself out there like on this pedestal, like, oh, I'm so this, I'm so that. I don't carry myself like that. I don't look at myself like that, but that doesn't mean other people, that doesn't mean other people don't see those things. So like, if you feel some kind of way about that kind of, attention, because it's going to come, it's just not going to work. Because the one thing about it is I'm not going to be answering all these questions. I'm not going to be asking. And I don't want you. Don't ask me. Don't be asking me all these questions. I ain't answering to nobody. We got to be on one accord. But that's why I appreciate, like, I think it's amazing that I'm able to have the relationship that I do with Fahara. As far as like him being a creative too, someone that I look up to and that's done so many great things within the city before he moved to California. I've learned a lot. But then even with him, we talk about stuff with relationships. We might have to go live about this together one day. But I mean, we both agree, like, we're just not going to have the typical relationship. And I'm still learning what that is for me or what that'll look like. I'm not in a rush though for it either, because I have to really hone in on this energy that's around right now and go with this momentum, because there's so many different things happening. And I just want to make sure that I stay within alignment. I don't want to get distracted, and good things can distract you sometimes. It doesn't have to necessarily be something bad, but I feel like, having to be in a space where I'm potentially, settled right now in that aspect isn't the best thing, like, unless we're on the same page. But ultimately, I think it's going to happen when it's supposed to.
Oh, yeah. I definitely agree. I mean, I just interesting, like, when you know what you want and what you're about. Like I said, a lot of us don't know what we want and what we are about. So let me ask you something. What do you want?
Like, for myself, or just like
I just asked you, what do you want? I ain't put no see that
okay.
Old head did it to me. Like, it could be anything. You can say, I want ain't no right or wrong answer.
I just want to be happy. Okay. I was not happy for a long time. I didn't even know what it felt like to be happy. So, like, I think anything that contributes to that is what I desire. But being able to be free in who I am, like, I don't want anything that takes away from that, because it took me so long to get here. So, like, just being happy. I definitely desire to have the means to help on a grander scale. And I believe all those things are coming to me in time, because there's a lot of people that I desire to bless beyond just what I'm doing right now. From a monetary sense, I desire to have my own nonprofit organization. So, like, I mean, there's a lot of things that I desire to do, but it's going to take the resources, for that to come. So I definitely desire, that's something I want. And I'm doing everything I can to, build and work toward getting those things. So that happens.
Yeah, I actually I just came across my mind, like, everybody got their own definition for things, or they look at things from different perspectives. When you say you're a single mother, you feel like you're alone. You don't have enough support. There's no male.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I believe, I'm getting more help in general than I used to have, because I prayed for that. I asked Creator for that. But even with the help, you have to be mindful. You have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can make your help be something more than what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you just have to really use discernment with that and make sure that, you're making the best choices along the way. Especially when you're not used to having the help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I haven't always had it as far as with, like, just getting a break, I would say, more so, like, with my kids consistently. And I'm finding I'm needing that obviously more now, support in that aspect, because I am getting. Thank you.
You're from Memphis.
Thank you for the comment.
Memphis got some fine women. It's the water, I think. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I just saw that cover. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. But yeah, I haven't always had the help, and I'm needing it more so now because I am getting out there more on the scene, and I'm loving it. I am loving it.
Yeah.
Because it's like I really genuinely love the people that I'm connecting to and supporting. Like so many amazing artists, like you, people that are multifaceted, right? So I mean, you know, that can paint, that can play instruments, that can sing, perform, you know, all of those things. It's like it's a reflection of me. I look at, you know, in a sense like that, because I'm going to be tapping into those things, you know, and having that stage presence. I look at people that perform, you know, and I'm like, wow, that's going to be me one day. I'm going to be up there.
Well, it's in your
you know?
blood, though. You look at the people that you come from, your father and
Yeah.
you know, everybody like that. I mean, they used to performing for the public and also being a service to the people
Right.
as well, too. So that's just part of your, I guess, it was already written in the stars, as they say.
Yeah.
It was already mapped out for you.
Most definitely. And I'm really grateful to finally be in a place where, you know, I'm embracing it all, because I realized that it's so much bigger than me. And it's like people that's been waiting for me to come out of this bubble that I put myself in. It's like self-imposed kind of shell. And so I'm happy that I can be a blessing in any type of way to other people through my walk, through my personal journey. But service is definitely in my blood, and it's always been a part of me. Even when I was working, like a lot of my jobs have been retail.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I go above and beyond. So what you see, like, honestly, that's why I said, like, this has always been me in any field that I've been in. It just wasn't appreciated. People didn't give me this much shine before.
Right.
It's like now, it's like, oh, you see me now. Okay. Yeah, interesting.
I mean, it's your
but
season, though. Yeah, definitely.
Right. But, you know, like, I am a firm believer in giving people an experience. So when I tap into that, that's what I think about. Like, I think about giving the experience. Even when I used to sell like wedding dresses and stuff, one of the brides I assisted, she ended up inviting me to her wedding. But it's like, I think it was like maybe the second dress she tried on was the one that she chose as her wedding dress. But it's like, I just wanted to give her, like anybody else, the overall experience, like look within, bring out the best in them. And I love doing that. I want to get back into fashion. I will eventually, but just being able to make somebody's day, put them in something they could never see themselves in, you know what I'm saying? And like, be like, wow, I look good in this. Like, yes, you do. You didn't know that. You would have never picked this out, but you trusted me. You know, I love doing stuff like that. And I just love thinking outside of the box. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comment. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You got a great podcast too. He's a podcast. He's a good brother from Mississippi, but he's in Texas. And he's probably what they call the new black media movement we have out here now. So shout out to brother CL Smooth Live.
That's amazing.
Good brother from South Carolina here.
He said, where you be finding these things?
Memphis got a lot of fine women here. There's a lot of fine women in Memphis. It's the water, I think. But I gotta ask you, because I didn't ask you who some of your influences are or were or are, but if you could have guests or have a dinner party with 5 people, who would it be?
5?
Yeah, who you like, past or present, don't make a difference. It could be imaginary person, I don't know. 5 dinner guests.
Imaginary. Okay, so let me just try to break it down. I can't do it all 5 at once. So Maya Angelou has been one of my all-time most favorite influencers and just everything. I'm a wordsmith, and so with her being like a master wordsmith and being someone to be so poetic in the way that she, you know, articulates her experience, literally is like how I write. That's how I express myself, and I'm very detail oriented. It's probably annoying to a lot of people, but hey, whatever. So teach his own. So like I know she had something here in Memphis. I forgot what it was before she passed. I hate that I wasn't able to make it there, but I just could sit and listen to her. I wouldn't have to say nothing. I wouldn't have to ask her nothing, really. Just to be able to sit and listen to her talk and have that opportunity, like Toni Morrison or someone like that, that would be everything to me. Because as a writer, I aspire to be like that, on that level. You know, I have high hopes for myself to be, you know, beyond like New York best-selling author and stuff like that. I just want to have an impact that's so profound that helps to, you know, be the catalyst for other people to, you know, walk in a different way, you know, that they never saw themselves, you know, walk. Because I literally am living that right now. I would sit with my grandfather who passed away that I never met. And that's because, like, when I think about how he and my grandmother were in this, they weren't just well off, you know what I mean? When they were in this situation where they helped to put 12 children through college, you know what I mean? And they went to TSU. And if I'm not mistaken. And so for them to all, you know, get to that point where they developed their, you know, own identity in their walk and be prominent, whether it's in politics or whatever, you know, I think it's amazing to be able to sit with him and ask him questions, you know, to glean from his mind. You know, I think that's an opportunity I wish I had, especially growing up, because it's a lot of the things that I'm learning that's like self-taught, you know what I mean? Or divinely inspired, but not really just having like that patriarch or someone like my dad's still here, but I mean just his father, just being able to talk to him, you know, like a founder of, you know, so many great things, you know, to be able to just pick his brain would be amazing. It'd be beyond what I could ever read in a book. You know, so let me see. I have 3 more people I gotta name. Like, I know this will probably change a little bit because I wasn't prepared for that. But I think that I would love to talk to my grandmother, Thelma. I would love to talk to her now, since she's been gone since 99. I wish I could have a moment to sit with her where I'm at today and we have a conversation, because when she died, that was like a really, you know, hard transition in my life that I had to kind of go through. And she was one of those people who allowed me to be myself. She allowed me to, I remember I started cooking. I had my little cheese toast and stuff. I was so proud. I was like, oh, because my mom would let me, you know, test and like do stuff like, no, you're gonna, you know, burn some down. But, you know, she allowed me the freedom to be able to do that. And she had a gas stove too. So I just, you know, I would, you know, make my little grilled cheese for my sister, my cousins. And, you know, I was a little chef in my mind, you know, that's where it started. So, but I love the fact that she would talk candidly to me, because I need that. You know, we need that. We need our elders. Like, if you still have elders around, glean from them, talk to them. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time with her. I wish I had a moment now, being where I'm at, to just hear, you know, what advice she would give me today. You know what I mean? Like, that's so valuable to me. And so being able to talk to her, I feel like would, you know, encourage me even the more, because I mean, I do have my challenges that I face. And I've learned to appreciate those types of voices and people that come into my life as a mentor. Because I see Cam that way. You know, I have a special place in my heart for people like that. And those are the type of people I want to highlight the most, you know, in my walk and what I do. Because we as a culture, we need that, I believe. Now for the other two people.
Yeah, so far, great choices.
I mean, I like that you brought up Tupac. I definitely would love to sit with him, not to be cliche or anything like that, because I'd love to know more so like what he was thinking about or what was going on through his mind during certain transitions, especially before he passed, like with certain content that he put out. Because I know for me, it's a process, kind of like what I go through when I'm creating content, whether it's a piece that I'm writing or something that's going up for my channel. And sometimes I'm literally going through something, to get those messages out, to the public. So I would love to, kind of find out from him, like what he was going through, what he was feeling, because I believe he had some premonitions about a lot of things, so I would love to know. That would be interesting to me. And Prince would definitely be my last person. Well, not the last, but
Gemini's, huh?
Well, I mean, Prince, because he always fascinated me. The way that he was so meticulous, I can relate to in my own way, not because that's genius level right there. I'm a genius, I believe, in my own field, but the way he was so musically inclined and he could hear music like he did, but he was also, in a sense, like a loner. It gets lonely. Not in a typical sense that you think about, but as you elevate and as you climb, and a lot of the things I'm starting to realize right now, I can see why people like that, they're kind of in that space where they're left with all of this stuff, this luxury, but they're by themselves, because it's hard to have somebody around you that, first of all, you can trust or you can believe in. I'm not going to say trust, believe in, that isn't going to take advantage of you, isn't going to use you, and then also can understand. Like, I don't know that there's many people that I could even say just understand me. You know what I mean? So as I climb and elevate, there's things that come to me I can't even share. I might have fire I can talk to, but I can't really share other than if I'm having conversations with creator, because nobody else would get it, or they might think I'm crazy, and I imagine him being like definitely one of those people. But I just wish that I could just not even just really do anything in the dinner, just hug him. Honestly, I just want to hug him and let him know that he's loved. He was so loved. He was so valued and appreciated. And I can appreciate a person's story that went through, the mud to come out into greatness and allow that greatness to still shine through. So I feel like he's an inspiration to me in that regard, because no matter what I experienced and went through that was traumatic for me, I've been able to now channel that into motivation, into something positive. And I just want to stay the course with that as much as possible. But I believe those people are like teachers to me. And, it's more than just, those people in particular, but those would be my 5.
That's excellent. You definitely a Prince fan. You don't care for Michael Jackson, but that's okay. I'm just kidding.
I can't name Michael Jackson too, but I mean Prince in particular, because it's just certain. I mean, Michael as well, but I mean Prince in particular, because it's like I was watching something about his story, and I don't know, it's just something about it connected to me in a different way. And I was just like, I don't want to be like that. No matter how far I go, I don't want to get to that point where I'm that aloof. I understand it, but I don't want to be that aloof. I'd rather not be here anymore.
Speaking of great musicians, give a shout out, brother Suavo.
Hey.
That's a great interview.
Thank you.
Got love come from London town.
London. Oh my gosh. This is amazing.
Hey, Tamara, thank you for tuning in. And brother Carolina gentleman, you're perfectly sane. You're a perfectly sane woman. You're perfectly sane. You're not insane in the membrane. You're perfectly sane.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. King had a saying, he said, human salvation lies in the hands of the creatively maladjusted. Because to be normal in a system like this is to be insane.
Right.
But we ain't gonna hold you up too much longer. People really enjoyed you. Look forward to seeing what's coming up next. I know you mentioned it earlier, but do you have any parting words or thoughts you'd like to share with us?
So I do want to mention for everyone that is new to Authentically Jen, I try to have messages now go up at least every 2 weeks. I do want to get it to the point as I have more subscribers and people really tuning in consistently. I want to get it to the point where it's weekly at least. And I do have another video that I have a new video rather that just came up. You are the solution. That's my latest message that was released this past Friday, but I will have a new one coming up in another week and a half. Not releasing that title just yet, but definitely tune into rather. You are the solution. I definitely love this message. I love every message, but this one in particular, it was amazing how I was able to come to this point where I'm encouraging you guys along the way as I'm encouraging myself. And I think that you'll get that sentiment with this particular message, of course. But the one before that, Choices, a lot of people raved about that message in particular, that it helped them. One in particular, one dear person to my heart told me that it helped him come out of a depressive state. So as a mental health advocate, I really wanted to break down and cry hearing that, because it's like literally my mission in life. That's one of them, is to help people that struggle, with anything within the mind. And I feel like even if you don't necessarily have anything that's like considered like a mental disorder, even if your thinking is off and you're just negative in your thinking, that has to be transformed in order for you to be able to fully tap into who you are. So it's my desire to help other people tap into who they are. And I want people to go with me in real time on this journey. So the movie Ruined Twice Blind will be released this fall. I don't have an official date, but I will be sharing that on my platform. I'm Jennifer Seer, Seer Ford on Facebook. I am gonna have a artist page that I'm creating for Seer soon. I haven't done it just yet. I'm getting on top of that, y'all. And I will be having an official website that'll be coming up soon. I do plan on having apparel that I will be releasing when I do get the site live. But for right now, you can, reach out to me through Facebook. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I am _authentically_Jen on Instagram as well. My page still private, y'all. I'm gonna do better. I will add you, and I'm gonna get it off of private. I'm telling you, this is still new for me. Coming up out of this shell, but I'm not shutting anybody out. I'm open. But definitely reach out to me through those platforms. And I am featured on an upcoming album, one of my poems. I'm the only poet on this album, Upside Down. JT is going to be releasing that soon. So you'll be able to hear one of my pieces officially. But I will, when I create my Seer channel, which is coming soon on YouTube, that's going to be a channel specifically highlighting my artistic content. So a lot of you that don't know me as an artist or poet, you'll start to get a taste of Seer on that once I get that platform up and running.
And what is the concept behind Seer? Like, how do you come up with that?
Well, Fahara was already the only one really calling me that all the time. And my brand, like the revolving kind of logo, the Seer, like you're seeing that like on my video and everything, he created that logo. That's my brand. Now, Seer is something I told him about because I can see things a lot of times before they happen. And I just have a gift, with, not, I won't even say just a high intuition, but I just have a certain gift that Creator has given me. So it's more so like a prophetic kind of gift, so being a seer is an actual thing, but it's just something I decided to like really own, especially when he created the brand. At first, it was just something that he shared with me and it wasn't for the public. But then I forgot really what it was, but it's like, once I got the okay from him, like it's okay to post this, because I was so like blown away by how awesome like everything looked. I was like, I gotta share this, I gotta post this. So I had an artist name that I went by like some years ago, and I just recently changed it on my Facebook to Seer, because I'm like, I don't want it to be confusing to people, for one, and you've got to just be consistent with your branding so it all makes sense. So Seer is the brand. Authentically Jen is just really kind of underneath the overall brand for Seer. But Seer is my artist name, and it's also my brand. So when I do have my apparel, I will have some apparel with my logo that he's showing. So you'll see Seer. I actually have a jacket that's got my Seer symbol on the back. I should have wore that so you can see it. But yeah, so I believe in my words, being very careful with what I say. I would just say that because of my power and my gift. So being someone that's highly, spiritual and everything like that, I just want to make sure, walking fully into this identity, that I am very mindful of the content. That's why I wanted to have my Authentically Jen channel give you that feeling, like if you meditate, or if you just, need something that's soothing or calming, because my voice, I hear a lot, has those properties, like it's very soothing and relaxing. I want everything that I do to reflect that as much as possible. So that's where Seer came from, or that was the birth of Seer. I have more descriptions I could give you, but I'm just giving you like what I have off the top of my head. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense.
That was very fitting. Definitely makes sense. Longfellow here. In my life story of being alone, I've always been able to see things others couldn't. I've been called crazy most of my life, yet math is easy for me. I write poetry also. That means you're very gifted.
Right, it does.
Yeah, so stay encouraged.
Definitely stay encouraged. Check out Choices on my channel, Mr. Longfellow. I think that's going to definitely open you up and be a huge blessing for you, as all the messages will be. But that in particular, I think will really help you a lot. Because when I started off, I'm giving you a little bit of like my own journey, because I used to have so much negative self-talk in my head. Mm-hmm. And just kind of like, it's like I'm taking you through it and helping you, speaking directly to you as if I'm looking at you in the situation. I kind of try to project that when I'm talking, or it happens to come out that way, which is amazing. Right. But literally just being the voice of reason for you in those moments. And trust me, I don't diminish, when someone puts thoughts into your head or says certain things, because I've experienced that. But like, you've got to believe in yourself so much to where literally nothing penetrates you. You have to, like, to the point where it's like, it doesn't matter what you think I am or who you think I am. I know who I am. And I'm going to own this and be that. And a lot of the times it's the people that don't own who they are, and they see those things in you and they try to shut it down because they're afraid. They're afraid to be true to themselves to the point where they can do the things they see you doing. Don't be discouraged. That's all I can say about that.
Definitely. That's words to live by and words to manifest and amplify. And y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Authentically Jen on YouTube. And she's very accessible. She said, she's trying to learn this thing. She was born to be a public servant, public intellectual, guru in training, all that good stuff. I know since we've been on here, trying to see, you got 95 subscribers. You got about 15 more subscribers or 14 more. Yeah, 81 at first.
Okay.
So it's up to 95 now. Let's push it over 100 people.
Okay, let's get to the first 100, and we're gonna get to 1,000. That's honestly, like, when I get to that 1,000 point, and that's been like my ultimate like goal, just starting off, you know what I mean? the content is going to be coming. I mean, the watch
Mhm.
time, all that stuff is going to be coming because I have the content that's coming. But I'm telling you guys, you know, this right here, I appreciate the exposure. This right here is going to be life changing and altering. So share with as many people as you can. When you subscribe, if it touches you, please feel free to share on any social media platform that you may be on and you have, because I wanted to reach as many people as it could possibly bless. I know this is bigger than me, and I just want everybody else to be able to tap into what I've tapped into within.
Okay, I think we just answered this person. You just answered. Where can we find your content? I have a periodical and a book of poems on Apple Books myself. She's a cutie pie. I just want
Thank
to
you.
say give you that compliment. Yeah, thank you, man. Y'all already know how to get at it. Y'all can look at this in the archives, rewind, but Authentically Jen. Then she's got the Seer Facebook group page, and you can find her on Facebook, Jennifer Seer Ford.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I got it all through here. I've been a big boy fan. Got all in here. So y'all can look at the archive. So I know I don't want to take too much advantage of your time, but I just want to thank you so much for spending the time to share your message with us and allow me the pleasure and the honor of helping you amplify your message. I mean, it's truly been a treat. Like I said, you're more than just a pretty face. And you've been proving that time and time again all your life, I think. All your life you had to fight. All your life. But keep on doing what you're doing. I guess let me put some more. Okay, I'm definitely checking her channel. She's gorgeous. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
The man crowd. The men love you.
They do, apparently. Where were y'all at? Where were y'all at 10 years ago?
No, that's another show. That's another show. But yeah, I mean, you made my day. You are a wonderful person, very positive vibe, and just wish you the best and success in everything. You know, amplify blessings and all that good stuff. And hopefully we can have you back on before you get too big, I guess. For you, like,
come on.
Stratosphere. But I see that for you as well, too. You've been just a blessing. And thank you for shining your light and not dimming it, and keep on shining.
I appreciate it. And honestly, it's people like you that help to fuel me. So I really thank you so much for seeing what you saw in me. I was taken aback. I'm like, but look at what you got going on. I'm trying to get there. I'm just beginning.
You're an attractive woman. I'm gonna be honest. I saw you at Minister Yahweh's Sweet Willie Wine, Minister Yahweh's birthday gathering. I said, who is this curvaceous lady? And then I saw you at the Chimpri street sign. I said, damn, she got some curves. She gotta wear her jeans well. I was like, hey, how you doing? It's me. But I was glad that I made that connect. I was able to, get out my comfort zone and connect with you. And you've been a pleasant surprise ever since August. So I just know a lot of great things are in store for you. Just keep your head up and eyes on the prize. And you can't
absolutely. I feel like you're trying to keep me on here. But
if you gotta go, you gotta go. But it'll be another time.
You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta. I'm at home, so
yeah.
I can't. But we should definitely do this again. I'm open to whenever because there are other things coming. I mean, first of all, congratulations to you. The Stone Awards is coming up. I mean, like you downplaying yourself. I mean, I should be interviewing you next.
Oh well, I mean, I'm open to it, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's always, I know you know as well. You don't always do it just for the recognition. You do it
right, exactly,
and just to be of service and be of use while you here, because your service is the rent you pay for your time on earth. Being of service to people, yeah. So I mean, it's good.
That's literally exactly the sentiments that I have. I'm not doing anything that I'm doing for recognition per se or fame or anything like that. Honestly, people out here need help. They need support. They need to be encouraged, uplifted. There's needs that's out there that far surpass all this other stuff that's just surface level. You know what I mean? I see beyond that type of stuff. And even with people I haven't connected to just yet that, maybe celebrities, it's people that honestly I look at, I'm just like, I just want to embrace you. I just want to embrace you. Like, I don't want anything from you. I just truly desire for people to be free in who they are and be happy, because I know what it's like to not be that. So I decided to be what I didn't have. And ever since I've been on this journey, it's changed my life. Now I'm living the life I love. And it's like we're always told to just be grateful for your life and just what you have. And that's true. But if you don't love your life, none of that stuff is going to matter. You know what I mean? I had to get to that point where it's like, I'm creating the life that I love. Even when I may not have certain things, guess what? I'm still happy because I love this life and I didn't before. So I don't want other people to go through that. I mean, you got people that's killing themselves and, going through these different things. They can't handle it. You know what I mean? I get it. And I'm not going to condemn anybody. You know why? Because I've been there before too, where I wanted to check out. But guess what? I had people like Fahara in my life, that pushed me beyond where I was till I got to that point where I could start making those steps, those baby steps, And it's like now I can genuinely smile and people can see the genuineness. Like, wow, she's so happy. Why? I'm telling you, I know what it's like on the other side of that. And so many people are still on that side. But you can get on the other side of where you are. I believe in you. And I want that to be the message that's prevalent through everything that I do. And that's why I say a lot of stuff often, like you matter in my messages. You matter. You truly do matter. Don't let anything, not to get long-winded, but I just have to say, like, don't allow anything in this life that is truly a distraction from your focus on you honing in on who you are be the thing that makes you think you don't matter.
Authentically, Jen, thank you for being true to thyself, to thy own self, be true. And I guess that does it for this edition of We All Be. And before I go, we're going to close out with You Are the Solution, but I always have to read a disclaimer. I'm afraid, or I just like doing it because I disclaimer. The views expressed by hosts and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group Incorporated. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. And like I said, thank you, Sister Jen, for sharing your time. You can never get a refund on your time. So we thank you for your investment. The words of Greg Duke Elton, you are truly beyond category, and we love you madly.
Can I say one thing before you go?
Yeah, go ahead.
One. I can't go. One. This is it. Shameless plug alert. So I cannot go without mentioning this. Okay. I've talked about this wonderful brother, Fahara Farmer, Fahara F Vision. Please go and follow Fahara Farmer. That's FAHARRA.
That's right.
On Facebook. We have our network where he is the CEO of IVD Network. It's exclusively on Roku, which is free. Got content on there. More is coming on the way. You can also follow on all social media platforms. Black owned. It's amazing. We're about to do some amazing stuff with this network. Please go ahead and look it up. And I'm also the chief editor for IVD Press. IVD Press is on Instagram and also on Facebook, Twitter. Major things are about to start happening, y'all. So make sure you check me out on there as well. But yeah, that was all.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Like, it takes a village. It takes a village. Thank y'all. And thank you all for tuning in or tuning out to tune in so you get in where you fit in.
All right.
This is Brother Ron, and We All Be. We're closing out because you are the solution.
Yes.
You are the key. You are the solution. And it's We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century.
Do you really want a solution? Seriously, ask yourself. If yes, then I have another question. Why is it that solutions get rejected or ridiculed so much? Who willingly wants to dismiss a means of solving a problem? Believe it or not, it happens every day. Having a debate seems to be more important. Being right or wrong is the point of the discussion, not a solution. There are so many issues in this world, and a lot of them are unseen. People are walking around carrying arsenals mentally. Our thoughts can be weapons of mass destruction or reconstruction. We can choose to be the solution or part of the problem based off of thinking alone. I know it's not easy to break free. It may not even be evident to you that you actually are contributing to certain problems you are facing. I couldn't see for a long time how I created my reality. It started in my mind. I had to look at how I spent most of my time thinking about myself. I thought I was a burden, and I carried myself like one. It was hard for me to recognize a solution or even the right words to combat those negative thoughts because I felt so stuck. This is just who I am, right? Do you know who you are? What if I told you you are a solution? Look within yourself. You are the solution you are seeking. Will you believe that today? Yours truly, Authentically Jen. Original is the only way to be. Wear you authentically.